All right, let's jump right in. Think about trying to manage your own household's finances. Now, what if that household was an entire nation? How on earth do you keep track of every single naira spent or every naira received, from the very top of government all the way down to the tiniest local project? It's a huge challenge, really, a challenge of communication. Today, we're going to break down Nigeria's massive undertaking to create one single common financial language for its entire government. And to really get a sense of the scale we're talking about, just look at this number. Nigeria has a population of over 150 million people. That is a vast, incredibly diverse country with endless needs, all served by a really complex government machine. And that machine, it's working on three different levels all at once. You've got the federal, the state, and the local governments. Every single one is a whirlwind of financial activity. Money coming in, salaries going out, projects getting funded, all happening simultaneously. You can imagine, without a shared system, it's kind of like three different people trying to write the same book, but in three completely different languages. Just chaos. So this brings us right to the heart of our explainer today. How does a nation this big, this complex, get everybody speaking the same financial language? How do you build a system where a transaction in some small local town can be understood perfectly in the nation's capital, and maybe even by partners on the other side of the world? Well, that is the quest we're diving into. So the first piece of the puzzle is creating that universal language, right? You can't have a coherent conversation if you don't even share the same words. So the very first step was to build a kind of financial dictionary that everyone in government would have to use. And that dictionary has a name, the National Chart of Accounts, or NCOA. And honestly, thinking of it as a universal translator for money is the perfect way to look at it. Every single type of transaction the government makes, whether it's money coming in or going out, gets its own unique code. This way, when one ministry talks about, say, medical supplies, another ministry knows they're talking about the exact same thing. No more confusion. Now, here's the really brilliant part. That code isn't just some random string of numbers. Each code is designed to tell a whole story. It's built from 6 different parts that answer 6 basic but crucial questions. Who's in charge of this money? What exactly was it spent on? Why was it spent? Was it for healthcare or education? How does this little transaction fit into a bigger government program? Where did the money come from in the first place? And finally, where did this all happen? All of a sudden, a single code gives you this incredibly rich, detailed story. Okay, so we've got the dictionary, that's the NCOA. But any language also needs grammar, right? A set of rules for how to actually use the words. In the world of accounting, that means having standards for how you report everything. So Nigeria adopted a global framework, the International Public Sector Accounting Standards, or IPSAS, and it basically comes in 2 main flavors. So these 2 rule books, they tell the financial story in 2 pretty different ways. On one hand, you've got the cash basis. It's super straightforward. You record money when it hits your account, and you record it when it leaves. That's it. It's pretty much just like looking at your own personal bank statement. But then you have the accrual basis. Now this gives you the full picture. It records transactions the moment the deal is made, even if the cash hasn't moved yet. It also keeps track of things the government owns and the debts it owes. This gives you a much, much deeper understanding of the country's actual financial health. Let's dig into that a little more, starting with Rulebook 1, following the cash. This is really the ground floor, the simpler of the 2 systems, but it's an absolutely essential first step for a lot of government agencies. When you're using the cash basis, the financial reports are really focused. As you can see, it's all about cash flow. You get a statement that shows money in, money out. You get a super important comparison of what you plan to spend in the budget versus what you actually spent. And then you get some notes explaining the rules. The main goal here is pretty simple. Be accountable for the cash you're handling. But really, the end goal for a lot of organizations is to get to Rulebook 2, the full picture. This is the accrual basis we were talking about, and it delivers a way more sophisticated, complete view of a government's financial standing. And wow, you can see the difference right away, can't you? The reporting here is way more detailed. Now we're looking at a statement of financial position. That's a snapshot of everything you own and everything you owe. You've got a statement of financial performance, which shows your revenues versus your expenses over a period of time. It's like getting a full, comprehensive health checkup, not just checking the cash in your wallet. This table just lays it all out so clearly. The cash basis answers one question: how did we manage our cash? The accrual basis answers that, plus the much bigger question: what is our overall financial position? It brings in assets, long-term debt, and performance metrics that the cash system simply can't see. The key takeaway is that accrual accounting builds a foundation for much smarter long-term planning. So, okay, we have a universal dictionary and we have a set of grammar rules. But why? Why go through all this effort? What's the real-world payoff for creating this common financial language? Well, this is where it all really comes together. This quote from the source material absolutely nails it. A huge part of the goal is to make sure that Nigeria's financial statements can be picked up and understood anywhere in the world. When you're speaking the same financial language as international investors, development partners, and other countries, you just open up so many doors for cooperation and trust. And the benefits are massive. For the average citizen, it means more transparency and real accountability. For the government itself, it means you can finally compare the financial health of different states side by side, which can spark some healthy competition and help everyone learn from each other. It also makes moving all these financial systems onto computers way, way easier. And like we've been saying, it builds that perfect foundation to eventually get everyone using the more powerful accrual system. It's really about building a modern, efficient, and trustworthy financial system from the ground up. So in the end, creating this common financial language isn't just some boring accounting project. It's about building the fundamental infrastructure for better government, for smarter economic planning. It's giving a nation the tools to truly understand itself and to tell its story clearly to the rest of the world. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. With this newfound clarity, what new possibilities are now unlocked?